Hello all, my name is Krishnayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today in this particular video we are going to continue the Python series, and in this video we are going to see the eval function. Now eval function will be pretty much handy guys, and we'll try to understand in depth about it, what exactly it is and why this function is very good itself. So let's first of all see what is this eval function. So this is how you basically write an eval function, and if you try to just see by pressing shift tab here you'll be able to see various parameters like source, globals, locals. So we'll try to understand this, but let's understand what this eval function actually do. So over here you can see that it says evaluates the given source in the context of globals and locals. We'll discuss about globals and locals in a while, but just let's understand what is the definition of it. The source may be a string representing a Python expression or a code object as returned by compile. Okay, we'll also talk about this compile function. So what does this basically say is that the source over here, the source parameter is basically a string representing a Python expression. So what does eval function do is that whatever source we are actually writing, okay, it is basically a string which is representing a Python expression. It will evaluate those Python expressions. So again, I'm just going to say you guys over here by writing down a comment. Eval function evaluates expression, or I can say Python expression which are written as strings. So this is the exact definition of an eval function, and here you see that it has been provided with three different parameters. One is source, globals and locals. Okay, so evaluate the given source in the context of local and globals and locals. We'll try to understand what is Python expression. It can be any kind of expression guys, it can be anything. Suppose if I want to write something like this, let me just give you an example. If I write 1 or if I write 5 multiplied by 5, this is an expression in Python. Now if I really want to execute this with the help of an eval function, all I have to do is that instead of writing 5 cross 5 like that, we'll try to represent this in the form of string. So if I write now 5 cross 5, and if I just execute it, here you'll be able to see the output, that is 25. So what exactly eval function is doing? It is just executing the Python expression which is represented in the form of strings here, right? Not only this guys, any kind of complex things like and you also have to make sure about one thing guys. Whenever you are writing an expression regarding Python over here, it should be a valid Python expression. If I write 5 cross 5 plus 5 plus, like, and suppose here if it is giving an invalid syntax, then obviously this expression will also give an invalid syntax over here also. So here you can see unexpected end of file while parsing, right? So this parsing will give us an error. So remember one thing guys, how this actually gets executed. If I try to execute it, the first thing is that it will take this particular expression, it will parse it. Okay, after parsing it, it will convert this into a bytecode, and finally this eval function will be able to execute it. And there are multiple steps which again I'm going to write when I'll be discussing about different parameters inside this. Now let me just try to do something extreme, some different kind of expression. Suppose if I write 5 plus 7 divided by 2, and if I execute it, it is somewhere around 28.5. Here also you can see that how beautiful it is coming, and obviously because of the BODMAS rule, first 7 will get divided by 2, it is nothing but 2.5. then 5 multiplied by 5 is 25 plus sorry, it is 3.5. yes, 7 by 2 is nothing but 3.5. 25 plus 3.5 is nothing but 28.5, right? So this evaluation you'll be able to see over here. Not only this, suppose let me consider that there are various other ways to write different expressions. Suppose I want to write something like this. Suppose let me consider that I want to give a variable, or probably I'll just use an eval function, and inside this I may use an input function. I may say that input, enter the expression, right? Enter the expression or enter the Python expression. Suppose I want to write like this, right? Now if I execute over here, what it will give me? It will first of all ask me what kind of expression I want to write. Now suppose over here I want to give like this, 5 multiplied by 6, right? Something like this, 5 multiplied by 6. If I execute it, here you can see my output is 30. Not only this guys, let me just write some different expression. Suppose I can use length. Length is an inbuilt function inside, it is an inbuilt function to find out the length of a collection. It can be different collection like tuples, like a list and all. So suppose if I try to specify like this, probably the length will be 5, and if I execute it, I'm actually getting it 5, right? Not only this, guys, let me just try something else, right? Let me try something else. Let me try a sum function. So if I write a sum function, and obviously if I write 1 2 3 4 5, if I try to execute this sum function over here, right, and just execute it, probably, okay, it is just not executing it. Let me see. Okay, let me just restart the kernel. Probably the sum function is not getting executed, but it should get executed. 1 2 3 4 5. If I execute, okay, it's working fine over here. I don't know, due to some kernel issue it did not work or what. So let me just execute it over here and press shift tab. Here you're getting the output as 15, right? So all these expressions, you can see that it is working absolutely fine, right? All the different kind of expressions, but still there are a lot of parameters we should also be discussing. But any difficult expression also, if you write with respect to Python over here, here you'll be able to write it, but make sure that you write inside string braces. It should be represented in the form of strings, right? And by default input will be considering as a string, right? Not only this, guys, suppose I have a function which says definition sum of even numbers, and probably here I'm just going to provide my number. If I execute it, and I'm going to say return num, probably num square. So like, let me just make this squared even, or I'll just write it as squared numbers, square number. So this is my function. What it is doing is that it is doing nothing, guys. It is just taking a number and it is actually finding out the square of that. So if I really want to execute this over here, see this. If I execute square of num of 2, so this is how it gets executed. If I want to execute in form of eval expression, I can basically write like this, right? And here you have, oh sorry, I just did not put some additional braces. Now here you can see that I've executed using eval operations by using like this, right? Now let's go one step ahead and let's try to understand about the globals and the locals parameters that were actually present inside this. But before this, you need to understand how does this eval operation actually works. Now see, guys, if I press shift tab, the first parameter is source. Source is nothing but your Python expression. The second parameter is global and locals. Now we'll be discussing about this, but before that, let's understand some very important thing. How does eval actually work? How does eval, I'll just write down the comment, how does eval work, right? So the first thing and the first step that I would like to say is that first the eval will parse the expression. Whatever Python expression you are writing, it will try to parse it. Okay. The second step, it will basically compile. Second step is basically to compile into a bytecode. Okay, so it will compile into a bytecode. The third step that it is probably going to do is evaluate. The eval method that we assign, right? Evaluate the Python expression, and finally it will return the result, right? So all the steps are actually getting followed. What is this compile? I'll just show you right now. Okay, so suppose I have an expression which says something regarding compile, right? How do we compile things and all? At that time also we can definitely execute this. So for compile, we have something called as compile method. Okay, now see this, guys. If I press shift tab, here you have source, file name, mode, flags and all are there. Let's show you over here the compile source into a code object, right? It evaluates this into a code object, or we can also say it as a byte object, which is going to be getting executed by exec or eval. Okay, so eval will probably be using this particular values. Now let me just write it down over here. Probably I would like to create a variable saying as var is equal to this. Suppose I say, okay, this evaluation may be 5 cross 5, and then my second parameter will be probably a string. So second parameter, I'll try to provide it as a string, which is basically saying that what kind of it is. And always remember, the second parameter that you are actually providing will be in the form of this is basically to evaluate your expression, right? See this. So as soon as I'm actually passing this particular expression, suppose if I pass this particular expression, after this what happens? The first step, after parsing that Python expression, it will compile into a byte code, right? So after this, what it is going to do is that we are just going to say for which function it is basically going to get used. It is obviously going to get used for eval operation. So once I execute it, if I go and see what is var, okay, if I go and see what is var over here. So var is nothing but it is a code object module at this specific memory location. Now if I write eval of var, right? So here you can see that we are getting the output as 25. Now what did we understand over here? Parsing the Python expression, compiling into a bytecode is basically done by this compile operation. So whenever you are calling eval internally, probably it will be doing this particular step. That is, whatever expression you are given, you have to basically, you are trying to give it in a string format, and this is basically getting applicable. This is basically getting applied to the eval function. So like this compile operation will happen. So this 4 step, it is working in this particular way. This is entirely parsing and compiling into bytecode, and this is evaluating the Python expression and returning you the result. Now guys, the second thing that we are going to discuss about is the globals parameter, right? So globals parameter, if I go and see eval, and if I press shift tab, here is your globals parameter. In this global parameter, let's see how do we work with it. But if you really want to check out the definition, the global must be a dictionary and locals can be any mapping. Okay, let's try to implement this. Okay, now suppose in my expression I basically write x plus 50 multiplied by 20 or plus x square. Okay, probably I'm just going to write like this. Okay, so this is my expression that I want to give it. But here we have not given what will be our x value, right? So if we don't give our x value, obviously it is going to give me an error saying that x is not defined. So x can be either defined as a global or a local value. So in order to define it, first of all, we have to use key value pairs. In the key value pairs, what I'll do is that you have to specify x and what will be its value. Suppose its value is 10. I'm just going to specify it as 10. So I'm just going to execute it. So here, as soon as you see this x will be replaced by 10 and it will get executed. And right now, since I've provided in the form of key value pairs, this will be treated as a global variable. Not only this, guys, suppose I don't want to specify like this. I want to define it somewhere else and probably define it by x colon x. This x will be referring to the global variable that we have defined here. So once I execute this here, again, you'll be getting the same output. Not only this, guys, any kind of complex operation you try to do it, you can either assign it the values over here or you can also assign the values there. So these are some of the ways how we can actually do this. And this is a pretty much easier way to basically find it out how to do it. Not only this, guys, suppose if you want to provide two values, two variables, like suppose I have my x is equal to 10 or 100 and probably my z is equal to 100, right? So if I do an eval operation saying as x plus z, and probably here I'm just going to define x colon x, right? We have defined x, but we have not defined z. So what will happen? We will basically get an error, z is not defined, right? So in order to provide this as a global variable as key value pairs, we can add this particular dictionary like this, z colon. So we can also add something like this, z colon, and whatever is the z value over here, whatever z value we are trying to give, or I can also hard code this particular value. Now once I execute it, x plus z, 100 plus 100 is nothing but 200. Again, an amazing way to do this. And again, there are a lot of ways to write your expression in any kind of way that you want. Probably I want to also add w, right? I may also give my w value like this, right? So it will be like this, right? So w colon 1000. Right? If I execute it now, you'll be able to see that you're also getting 1200. Again, guys, there are a lot of ways to do this, and it's up to you, like how you want to define your local variable or global variable. But understand that you will definitely be able to access it. Now, if you don't want to go with this specific way also, right? One way is this, right? Where you are taking this particular value and you are assigning this. If I remove this, let me just copy this entire thing and probably remove this, and I just want to evaluate with this expression like this, or let me just remove w. If I execute like this also, it will work fine, because now it is considering whichever variables are defined as the global values. I'm just going to use that, right? I'm just going to use that, right? Over here I've defined x, z, y. Probably I'll also try to define y as 1000 or 10,000, and just let me write the plus y. It is obviously going to take that specific values. What if I don't define over here? I can basically represent in this way in my globals values, which is my second expression or second parameter. right? I hope this is pretty much simple. Now the next thing that probably we are going to discuss about is our local expression. Now remember, whenever we don't define like this, whenever we don't have values like this, at that time what we can do is that, see this, let me evaluate expression. So here I'm evaluating expression. My expression may be a plus b plus c, and here I'm going to, first of all, the second parameter is global. So here I'm just going to keep it empty. The third parameter I'm going to provide it as locals. Now locals over here is none by default, right? Let me specify a value. First of all, to define a value, this will also be a key value pair. So like a 100, comma b 200, okay, b 200, right, comma c 1000, right? Now whenever I define like this, now remember, these values will not be available in the global side, right? Even though I create this in the global side, let's see. First of all, let me just execute this. This will work absolutely fine. I'm just trying to add ABC. Now, apart from this, guys, you can also perform a lot of different kind of operations with respect to eval, like Boolean operation also. So if I write A is equal to 100, B is equal to 200, and if I write something like this, A is less than B, so we can also check this condition like true or false, and you can also perform this. Now these were some of the advantages of using eval functions, but again guys, there are also a lot of disadvantages with respect to using eval operations or eval functions. You should be considering that it is considered insecure because it allows you to execute dynamically arbitrary code in Python, right? So this is the major concern, and this is really a bad programming technique or method, because you are directly writing your expressions over here and you're directly evaluating it. Because of this, this eval function is basically considered as insecure. But yet there are different ways how we could reduce this kind of security issues, and this probably I'll be discussing in my upcoming video, how to minimize the security issues of eval function. Because just understand, we are just writing this particular code and this code is getting evaluated, which is a very bad programming method, you know. So how do we evaluate this? One way is that you know, whenever I'm providing this particular function, I don't provide my local or global variable. Like suppose even though I define like x is equal to 100, y is equal to 100, right? And if I write eval as something like x plus y, and here I'm just going to provide my global and local variable as empty. At that time here you can see that, sorry, let me just make this as string. Now if I try to execute this here, it will say that x is not defined because my global and my local variables are both empty. Right now it is not accessing anything else. Right now, anything that you want to evaluate, probably you can provide it over here. We'll try to see a lot of ways how to minimize the security issues with respect to eval, and probably that will be another 10 to 12 minutes video where I'll be showing you all the techniques. This is one way where I don't specify any of my local or global variables. The other ways are with respect to importing libraries and all, which probably I'll be showing you. This technique is called as restricting global and local variables, but again I'll be trying to show you ways how to minimize the security issues, and that will be uploaded as in my next video. So I hope you like this particular video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you and all. Bye bye.